Hi, it's Matt here from Gloucester Community Building Collective. Today we're looking at Gift of the Heel. Carrying on this series, we've been looking for the last few weeks around gifts and how people can be encouraged in their own gifts, but also to share that. And so Gift of the Head, we started with Gift of Knowledge. What do we know? How can we share that? Gift of the Heart, what do we care about? What are our passions? And then last week we looked with Chris around Gift of the Hands. How does that outwork that? Now my son, I don't think he had a gift of hairdressing, so I do apologise for my haircut, but at these times call for those kind of measures. But today we're looking at Gift of the Heel. We're looking around the heel in two ways. So firstly, Gift of the Heel, maybe things happen in our lives, and through bringing our gifts to other people and through ourselves, it brings a healing through the difficulties that we've had. And also Gift of the Heel, how do we stay grounded? How do we stay on that ground when difficulties do arise? And so we're looking at that today. We're looking at listening to a guy called Charlie, who's brilliant. Hopefully he's an encouragement for us all. And so we're just going to go over to him now. Hello, Charlie. How are you?
Fine, Matt. Thanks. Strange times, but I'm keeping busy.
Yeah, I like your backdrop. I've done a little theatre backdrop for you, just in honour of you.
I feel very much at home. Thanks.
Okay, so as we've known on our Facebook, we've been looking at the gifts that people have, looking at the head, the heart, the hands. Today we're looking at Gift of the Heel, which is around just how people work through things that have happened in their life, and actually that brings healing. And also how people stay grounded. So can you just briefly just share some of those things that you maybe found with that Gift of the Heel for you?
Yeah, well, I suppose I've had a life that's involved healing, both offering healing for others and taking that for myself as well. I spent 25 years working in social work with my wife. And during that time, we did some very special things. We started the first ever refuge in the women's refuge in the southwest of England. And that was a major part of our lives and a major part of my social work life. Then moving on, I worked, I ran a small IT company and spent a lot of time trying to communicate IT skills to people in non-jargon types of ways.
Yeah.
And then I sort of two things conspired really. I decided to change my career again and go into storytelling because I've got a great belief in the power of spoken word to be able to help people focus and resolve their feelings and their needs. And you know, I'm not trying to be big-headed, but I'm good at storytelling. People listen to me. And at the same time, sadly, my wife contracted dementia. She had vascular dementia, and so that was a 6.5 year challenge, really, of a slow descent into dementia, which was pretty uncharted. There isn't really any help for carers to help them understand what dementia is about. During the course of that, caring for her and supporting her right up until the last, she died here at home, which is a thing to treasure. I kept notes, and I assembled those and worked with them and created a show called Orienteering, which sort of reflects the way in which I felt as though somebody had dropped me into the middle of this forest called dementia and said, "There you go, Charlie Markwick, find your way out." Yeah. So the show Dementia, because along the way too, I started writing poetry as a collection of prose and poetry, which tries to communicate to people in very real ways about caring for people with dementia. Yeah. But more than that, it's about saying that actually it's not the end of something, it's the beginning of something new. And I can honestly put my hand on my heart and say that in the last year of my life with Molly, where her dementia got quite bad, yeah. We still had some of the most beautiful moments of our marriage, and that was because I had been taught and had learnt to reframe the way that I was looking at what I was doing, and I wanted to communicate that to people as well, because it's a terrible thing caring for someone 24/7, where you know that it's just going to be downhill all the way. But you know, if you say to yourself, "This is awful, this is dreadful," and you don't reframe it, then you lose out too. If you say there's going to be moments of real beauty and joy and fun, you know, in this, as well as tears, then you walk away from it having kept something precious.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, so through that happening to yourself, for you, would you say then that gift of the heal for you is twofold? So that healing process for you, using your gifts, the many gifts that you have, has helped soothe that, and actually the gift of the heal to keep you grounded as well. Would you say those two things have happened for you through this difficult period?
I think that's absolutely true. I think that knowing and understanding that there are ways of actually making the best of situations that you're in, having been in a pretty awful situation, is important for me.
Yeah.
But being able to use that and support others, and indeed communicate it to others, and hopefully help them, is important too.
Yeah, and obviously a time at the moment when people are on lockdown, people are isolating. You're involved in quite a number of things. Now, we've got a little bit of time left. See if you can whistle stop tour me some of those encouragements that you're involved in, because other people, we can put a link to that for you. Other people can find out what you're up to, how they can get involved. So here's your little chance, a little blitz of tell us briefly what you do.
Okay, so follow up Yarn Whispering on Facebook, which is my storytelling page, and Joe's Yarns, which is also on Facebook and also on the web, which is the life storytelling club, which is still going on. It's called Joe's Yarns because it was at Smoky Joe's in Cheltenham, but now it's virtual. But people come along and tell stories from their lives. That's Wednesday night, last Wednesday of every night, every month. I'm involved in supporting the Gloucestershire Poet Laureate Ziggy Dix by organising all of the the Gloucester Poetry Festival events, which you can get from Facebook too. There's a Facebook page, Gloucester Poetry Festival. And then there's a number of other events around, like O'Crumbs, which I support as well by actually sort of, I don't compare them, but I run them from Zoom for the participants.
And you do Springboard, was it Springboard as well? You're involved in Age UK?
I'm working with Age UK. We're doing quizzes at the moment on Springboard on a weekly basis. We had a quiz, so you think you know Gloucester, and last week it was so you think you know Cheltenham, and this week it's going to be so you think you know the Forest of Dean. They're incredibly hard quizzes, but fun.
And there was a Sound of Music title, I'm sure you mentioned to me.
Oh yes, on a Friday evening at 8:30, I run something which is just a personal thing really, but it's open to anyone, and it's called These Are a Few of My Favourite Things. And that's where I just encourage people to get together and share pictures that they love, or music, or stories, or poems, and so on. Because poetry is a big part of my life.
Yeah. Brilliant. Excellent. Well, it's been really encouraging just to hear you. Hopefully people can realise actually whatever situation they're in, actually they all have gifts, and actually those things can come for good. But as we know, as you've shared, that encouragement is helping other people, and actually other people can get involved. So there's plenty of stuff you've shared today that I'm sure people can look into and use their talents and their gifts and their skills and their knowledge. So I just want to say, Charlie, be encouraged. Keep doing what you're doing. You're making a difference for people's lives, and it really does start to show that in how this difficult time is for people. So thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah, it's a pleasure.
See you later.
Cheers.
Wasn't it powerful to actually just hear of Charlie's situation, Charlie's story, but actually how he used that, his gift of the heal, how through the process of pain and difficulty, actually not only it's helped him through his life, but actually how it's affecting so many other people around him with the encouragement with his gifts that he shares around storytelling, poetry, just being passionate to see that shared. So just want to encourage us all at this time to hang in there, keep looking out for other people, keep using those gifts, the knowledge you have, the practical stuff you do, the passion that you have. And we're going to post in a few days' time just maybe a little an exercise, a little practical exercise that maybe help you and help other people in the street or in your neighbourhood of how to maybe get the best out of that, looking at the gifts. So look out for that soon as well. Just want to say have a good rest of the day. Take care.